Ghalibaf was a big part of IRGC. He actually was participated in war himself, I think, during the Iran-Iraq war. And I just wanted to show you why he's such a big deal. It might be such a big deal to the Americans right now that he's in Islamabad. He knows things that many other people don't. One, I already gave you a list of why this so-called ceasefire, why it benefits the Americans in so many different ways. You know, we already talked about the airstrike carrier groups arriving, the restocking and interceptors, the soldiers resting, the division that this caused within the Islamic Republic, all of that. But one thing that I don't know if it's true or not, like one thing that I've considered is that the Americans know Ghalibaf. They know how he's more self-interested. So one thing that this ceasefire could do is that they wanted to find a way to meet with him face to face, preferably alone. Because remember, Ghalibaf is probably the person that was talking to President Trump's people and was being very flexible to the point where President Trump was loving it. Like, oh my God, these people are so reasonable. They're talking up to us in a way that nobody else. So Ghalibaf, in public, he comes and says, "Death to America! Fuck the Americans! We'll kill them! We'll destroy them!" It's like he keeps on trolling, memeing President Trump, but behind the scenes he seems to be really flexible. Like, I don't know what he has been telling the Americans, but they are so impressed by what he's willing to do. And initially he seems to be also the person that managed to get 20 oil tankers out of the Strait of Hormuz after telling President Trump that we're going to do that, and President Trump saw that it happened. It started with 8, then he added 2, and then he added another 10, and President Trump was like, "Yeah, look, this guy seems to have some influence, and he's also talking in a way that we've never heard from the Islamic Republic before," right? And this is why so many people from the regime are now suspicious that Ghalibaf is basically betraying the Islamic Republic. I wouldn't be surprised if he does that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Ghalibaf gave away the locations of many IRGC commanders for the Israelis to kill. I wouldn't be surprised that that is the reason why Ghalibaf is on a no-kill list, based on what I know about him. Because guys, this guy, you remember I told you that there was a fight between Ghalibaf and Jafari. So Jafari, the previous commander of IRGC, this guy Muhammad Ali Jafari, there was an audio message of him leaked talking to somebody else, talking about Ghalibaf stealing money from the regime, like basically money that was supposed to go from somewhere to something else. Ghalibaf just took it for himself and it disappeared. And Ali Jafari was talking about the financial corruptions of Ghalibaf. So that's how we know that Ghalibaf is very much self-interested. And and the reason why I wanted to show you this video. Oh, let me actually go back to here. I also told you guys that even though so many people, pro regime people, want to hate him, it's hard to hate him because of the video that I'm about to show you. Because pro regime people love Haji Zadeh. Okay. He's like, after Qasem Soleimani, he was like a celebrity within IRGC. Like, and he was killed during the 12-day war. Right. And this video gives us two that I'm about to show you gives us 2 points that gives you a better understanding of what's happening. In this video, you see Hajizadeh speaking. This is Hajizadeh here speaking, and he's praising Ghalibaf, which shows why Ghalibaf is sometimes untouchable, because he had this praise not just from Ghalibaf, but he also right now is also a little bit hard to attack. Was a little bit hard to attack. The state TV of the regime kept on saying that he has Mujtaba Khamenei's blessing, but he's being praised for. This is actually the interesting part. Let's see what Hajizadeh says about Ghalibaf. So Ghalibaf is sitting here. Hajizadeh is up there on the platform speaking. So let's listen to this. So this is Haj in 2017 saying, the person who caused the missile program to expand to this extent
تا این حد گسترش پیدا بکنه و نام
and whose name was never mentioned anywhere,
اون
and who still remains anonymous.
گمنامه و امروز
But today we are at liberty to mention him is Dr.
با
Ghalibaf.
آزادی عمل ما دیگه میتونیم اون رو مطرح بکنیم. آقای دکتر غالیبافه دوره‌ای که
Saying during, people are applause, and saying during the period when he was our commander,
ایشون فرمانده ما بودن باعث شدن
he ensured that that a foundation was laid
که بنیانی گذاشته بشه تا امروز
so that today we have a base in every a missile base. He's talking about the missile cities, these underground missile cities. He's saying we have a missile base in every city, town, and province.
در هر شهر و شهرستان و استان یک پایگاه داشته باشه.
So this is important because this shows that Ghalibaf has a lot of information. So basically, he showed to everybody that Ghalibaf was behind the missile program. I mean, you would assume. So, guys, these two names are very important. Hajizadeh was the aerospace commander, and now Musavi is the aerospace commander. That means the aerospace commander means the guy in charge of the missiles. Okay, so now Musavi is very important right now because he's the guy in IRGC in charge of the missiles. So this shows that Ghalibaf was the person behind making all of these underground missile programs possible, which also shows that Ghalibaf has a lot of information regarding the vulnerability and the things that you could do to blow them up, their locations, and many other things. So this is why, along with overall, it just shows how deeply connected and influential within IRGC he was. So being able to get your hands on Ghalibaf in a way and get him to cooperate with the Americans, that is like a huge win for the Americans if they could get him to do that. And I bet you he's trying to do everything he can to give the Americans what they want without being seen as a traitor by the regime supporters. But what's more important than everything, if we go back to this video, what the fuck is this? What are these smiley faces here? Can somebody explain this to me? Look at the design of this podium here. Like I thought this is edited after the video, but then I went and looked back here. It's like you can see that it's here as well. Like what the hell is this? Like a look at this design. Like this is a serious military IRGC commander talking to these people, and we have, I'm assuming, a birthday cake, these smiley faces around the birthday cake. So what the fuck is that? Like, can somebody explain to me? Like, why is this? This is. I don't understand who came up with this design for such an important gathering. It's not very professional, in my opinion. So, yes, I don't know. That was weird. Okay.
Guy, do you know about the smiley faces?
Yeah,
I do not. I have a different thing that I wanted to talk about, actually. I know you thought, like, obviously
Yeah,
he's
go
going to
ahead.
talk about the smiley faces, but.
All right.
Okay, so given all that, do you think it's likely that the Trump admin sees Ghalibaf as a potential Delcy-like figure that where they can do the same kind of thing that they're trying to do in Venezuela, which in Venezuela seems to be working? I doubt it'll work in Iran because he'll get way more assassinated than she would. But do you think that
It's
might be
also-
what's going through their minds?
I mean, I think the Americans. I mean, I don't know how much good given that they give weapons to the Kurdish separatist groups. I, I mean, if they have good intelligence, which I hope they do, they would know that this would not be sustainable. I mean, if they
Yeah.
have good intelligence, I think what they're planning is to use Ghalibaf to basically sell out the Islamic Republic, and basically but this can't be a long-term plan. I mean, how could it be? Like, with what force would Ghalibaf be able to control? Like, if it comes out that Ghalibaf basically gave everything to the Americans, like no, how is he going to survive that? Like, how is he going to survive that? Everybody out there would be out for his blood.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. And that's why I said he'd get way more assassinated than Delsey did.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think
If
like
I was
it's
Ghalibaf,
such a
if I
promising.
was, yeah, go on.
I'm just saying that it's such a promising like
Yep.
thing for them if they're not familiar with the intricacies of why that wouldn't work in Iran. Because it was such a resounding success in Venezuela because allegedly they're now in the process of going towards like elections in a way that would make it a clean break.
Yeah, but this could be a success in a different way, right? I mean, if I was Ghalibaf, I would be making a deal with the Americans to secure my exit, like somewhere
Hmm.
else. Like, I would be like, give me a way out of this. Like, this is a sinking ship. Just give me like a couple of $1 million and somewhere to go and live, and secure, like, give me a deal that you will not like, that I will be protected, and just get me the fuck out of here. That's, I mean, I don't know what Ghalibaf is thinking. Ghalibaf historically wanted to be the main guy within the Islamic Republic. Like, he has been very power hungry and ambitious. And I don't know if he still wants that. Like, I don't know if he still has the idea that, okay, everybody's dying, I could actually be in charge of this. Like, I could, because he ran for president so many times and he failed every time. He was very power hungry. So if we continue, if he still that has that ambition, he has in his mind, he could make all of this work and everybody will fall and it will just be him and all the oil and gas revenue of Iran with nobody to share it with, and he would be the number one guy, right? But I mean, if he's thinking that, that might be delusional. I mean, people like Vahidi are not going to let that happen. Probably, he doesn't, unless Mushtaba wakes up and then gives his blessings to his best chance. Okay, Ghalibaf's best chance is for Mushtaba to wake up and just come out and say, "Yeah, Ghalibaf is my guy," and then every like so many people that would then fall in line. But maybe he's going for that. But if I was him, I would be like, "Fuck it, I would just sell out the Islamic Republic and ask the Americans to find me a safe way out." If I was him, I would be doing that.
Yeah, he'd probably not allow for the Delsey model because he knows that that would get him assassinated. Like, even if they don't, he does.
Unless Mushtaba wakes up and says he has my blessing. So maybe he's like gambling on that.
Yeah, but even then, then it's not the Delsey model. The Delsey model is specifically a clean transition of power. Mustafa would not allow for that
Yeah,
in
but
principle.
Mushtaba could be a puppet that for
Mm,
like Mushtaba,
that
yeah,
doesn't
like
know.
could just be somebody that comes and says the things that I want to, so that I have the people power, but I still have the control. I would just
Yeah,
make a deal with him. The same way IRGC made a deal with Ali Khamenei when Rafsanjani made him the supreme leader. So Ghalibaf would see himself as the number one guy that is using, instead of the supreme leader ruling over him, the supreme leader is being used as by him as a tool to just get people in line.
right. So
Yeah.
my wife needs me, so I'm gonna go for a bit.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for coming.
All right.
Daniel and Ali also want to respond. 1 minute each, please. Daniel? Okay, let's go to Ali.
Okay, so Moshtaba was just like the puppet of Vahidi, pretty much. Let's just like simplify it, like the IRGC, right? So because they put him in there, and Ghalibaf's kind of on the back foot. I think, first of all, his family's still in Iran. We think, so Vahidi could just go use his family as leverage or whoever. So I'm thinking Ghalibaf's there to be like, okay, I'll give you guys what you want, but we need to kill Vahidi. We need to like relinquish control of like the IRGC to me. I think his ambitions, like as you said, throughout history, are probably pointing towards that. I'm not. I'm not too convinced that he's trying to preserve himself personally too much. I think he's still seeing this as like I can go in and I can be like the new leader of everything right now. And on that note, I think my theory for why the Pakistani jets and whatever arrived in Saudi is because the US and Saudi are going to take one side, and then the Islamic Republic and Pakistan are going to take the other side, and they're going to jointly control the strait. I think that's going to be like the concession, because other than that, there's no real way for that to even work. It's just a theory, could not work at all. I can see the U.S. just being completely, stiff arm on this and being like, no. But I thought if that was the solution, it would be that.
I mean, President Trump said that there's no way they're going to allow the Islamic Republic to collect tolls at the Strait of Hormuz. He did say that. Also, if Mujtaba is Wahidi's puppet, then why is it that they're saying on state TV that Mujtaba gave the blessing for negotiations to Ghalibaf? Like, why is that the statement?
Do you think the state media is on Ghalibaf's side?
I mean, given that they're saying that, it seems like it right now. I don't know if they're going to be on Ghalibaf's side tomorrow. But yeah, I think right now they seem to be on Ghalibaf's side because they came out and said Mujtaba gave the blessing for the ceasefire and the negotiations for Ghalibaf. So right now, I think Vahidi has all the guns, and Ghalibaf seems to have the propaganda power more. I mean, I haven't seen Vahidi. Have you guys seen Vahidi? So, by the way, I do think that Ghalibaf really would love it if the Israelis kill Vahidi. Like, I think he's hoping for that. He's like, that's what I think is. That's what I think he might be. Like, I don't know if he has information that he could give to the Americans so that it makes it even more possible. But I think Ghalibaf is hoping for this right now.
Okay, we gotta move on. Samantha is next.
Samantha.
Yes, you, Samantha.
I forgot what I was going to ask. Oh my god, I forgot what I was going to ask.
You want me to come back to
It's
you?
okay.
I can come back.
Okay, Dato.
Sadato.
Hi, does anybody know about the minesweepers which were decommissioned just before this latest war? And do we have the gear to remove the mines in the strait, given the fact that our four minesweepers were decommissioned just recently? And I think Jeffrey talked about this recently on this discussion group, but does anybody have information on that?
Jeffrey, do you have information?
Sorry, I just had to go. I was taking a bio break. What was the question? I had to drop a mullah off at the Ayatollah. What was the
Okay, you want
question?
to ask it again? Yeah, ask it
Okay,
again.
so I know that we recently decommissioned a bunch of minesweepers, I think 4 of them. And I was wondering, do we have the necessary gear on the littoral combat ships to find those mines and get rid of them?
Okay, so the previous Biden administration decommissioned like maybe 16. It was a lot. I mean, they're older ships to be sure. The littoral combat ship, to the best of my understanding, was set up in such a manner that it's almost modular. You can remove things, plug and play, that kind of thing. I think it can do it in a pinch. Mostly what we're looking at, like a lot of the demining stuff, we look at underwater networked, like submersible drones to do the mine sweeping. I mean, that's what we're looking at now. I don't know, like how many littoral combat ships do you have? Give me a second. Let me see how many we.
Okay, Jeffrey, while you do that, let me just talk about a little bit about this because we must have something to open the Strait of Hormuz because President Trump mentioned earlier. Let me see, this was a couple hours ago. Let me actually share what President Trump said regarding opening the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, look at this. President Trump said, and Danny sent this to me, thank you, saying, the fake news media has lost total credibility, not that they had any to begin with, because of their massive Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. They love saying that Iran is winning, when in fact everyone knows that they are losing. I have to make sure that the all caps are read like that. and losing big. Their navy is gone, their air force is gone, their anti-aircraft apparatus is non-existent, radar is dead, their missile and drone factories have been largely obliterated, along with the missiles and drones themselves. And most importantly, their longtime leaders are no longer with us. Praise be to Allah. Okay. The only thing they have going is the threat that a ship may bunk into one of their sea mines, which, by the way, all 28 of their mine dropper boats are also lying at the bottom of the sea. Oh, here's the part. We're now starting the process of clearing out the Strait of Hormuz as a favor to countries all over the world, including China, Japan, South Korea, France, Germany, and many others. Incredibly, they don't have the courage or will to do this work themselves. Very interestingly, however, empty oil carrying ships from many nations are all heading to the United States of America to load up with oil. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. CENTCOM Commander Brad Cooper announced that the United States has begun establishing a new safe passage for commercial shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. The route will be shared soon to restore confidence and ensure the free flow of commerce. U.S. forces have already begun clearing Iranian-laid sea mines, so they have the equipment for that. 2 Navy destroyers have transited the strait and are operating in the Gulf to secure the corridor. Underwater drones are now being deployed to accelerate the mine clearing efforts.
All right,
So
Jeffrey, quickly respond, and then I'm going to move on
Yeah,
to 30 seconds.
he just kind of reiterated some of the tentative stuff I said. So with the littoral combat ships, they're very they're meant to use a modular mission package, and it looks at using unmanned surface vehicles, unmanned underwater vehicles, and airborne systems like the MH-60 helicopters with mine hunting gear. So the idea is standoff mine warfare. In other words, deploy this stuff out to filter out the mines. So that's kind of what we're doing. I just I can't help but comment that, when he first ran, I used to get a little irritated with Donald's verbiage, and I just have come to absolutely love that shit, because he's doing that just to be a trollish dick to these fuckers. Right? You can almost hear him say that. We've eliminated all 28 of their leaders. Praise be to Allah. I just love his ass. Oh my God, I love him.
Yeah, me too. Okay,
Wait,
Samantha,
can I
go
just
ahead.
quickly show what the minesweepers look like? Really quickly. Okay, so this is from March. U.S. moves 2 Gulf-based, I should say Persian Gulf, minesweepers to Malaysia and amid Hormuz tensions. So this is what they look like. These are the minesweepers. So apparently we have a lot of them. So we're good.
Okay, go ahead, Samantha.
Okay. I mean, again, going back to Ghalibaf, being the person who some people think might be what's it called, a Mossad agent. Can we I don't know how to say it. Can we make it see go really hard on one specific conspiracy theory, go very hard on he gave out information that got this specific person in the IRGC killed.
Well, we can't because we don't.
No.
What you're saying? Should we put out fake information out there to get these people in trouble?
Yeah,
Is that what you're
very
saying?
hard on one conspiracy theory about Ghalibaf giving information to get a very specific person killed.
But what if he is a spy and then we're getting him in trouble? Then we're putting our boy in trouble. Then we're putting our guy in trouble. We don't want to do that. What if it ends up being correct and then we all of a sudden framed him?
I mean, I feel like if it is correct, he's got to have some exit strategy planned out with Mossad to like quickly get the fuck out of the country.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I don't know if it's going to have that much of an effect right now within Iran. The regime supporters are already coming up with the wildest ideas without our help. I mean, here's what we need, Samantha. Here's what we actually need. We need a picture. If you want maximum division within the regime right now, within regime supporters, a picture showing that Ghalibaf is talking to JD Vance without any intermediary, like in the same room, talking face to face. That will make them go mad. They will see that as such a humiliation. That would be like that would work better than any conspiracy theory,
Well,
because
isn't that
conspiracy
happening in
theories.
Pakistan? Isn't that?
Well, we don't know because we haven't seen if they are meeting directly or is it there with intermediaries. Because Ali Khamenei made it very, very clear that you don't talk with the Americans, right? So that's why they had to come up with people. That's why in Oman, for example, Arakchi would come and meet with the Omani people, and then the Arakchi would leave, and then Jared Kushner and Witkoff would come and talk to the Omani people. They would never meet directly because of this Ali Khamenei's red line. So after Ali Khamenei's death, you see the Americans and the Islamic Republic officials in the same room talking, that would be many Islamic Republic supporters will see red.
Okay.
So we need that picture, or better, even better, video.
Right.
Because if you come up with conspiracy theory, they would tell you that, oh, it's just made up, like they're lying. These Zionist lies, right? That's what they say.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
If you still have time, Jim wanted to go again. And Ari, I think he already showed that earlier.
Yeah, I did show that, but that's good. That's good to you guys, for you guys to have that video.
All right, I'm going to put a lot of pressure on Jeffrey in this moment here. Jeffrey, what would be the best plan to arm the Iranian people? We've discussed this before, but I don't know if you had a sharp idea on that.
Did you hear, Jim? Have you heard my plan?
Yeah, I've heard my plan. I was a part of that. I was just curious what Jeffrey thought.
Jeffrey. I think Jeffrey's plan is my plan as well. I think he agrees with my plan.
Yeah.
Plan of which particular part of that plan?
Like, do you agree that I think that the best plan to arm the Iranian people is to liberate like a Bandar Abbas or any city next to the, close to the Strait of Hormuz, and then use that as a way to vet the Iranian people who want to get armed, train them with not just guns but also drones, maybe with the help of Ukrainian forces, and then use that as the base of operations to start expanding an Iranian army, and then first liberate the Strait of Hormuz and then keep on liberating the rest of Iran from there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You and I were talking about that a while ago, where it's a win-win-win, opening up the strait with that city, taking out the rest of whatever remains of the IRGC Navy also at the west side of that city. And then also having that be the main source to flock to get the training and weapons and drones to carry the fight on.
Yeah.
I was just trying to see if there was any flaws in the plan. And Jeffrey, since you are the military mind, I thought there might have been something we overlooked with that.
So a lot of the operational elements played a role in developing. The idea of leveraging things like Ukrainian Defense Forces and the Ukrainian model, modified. Sorry, I'm still laughing about Donald saying "Praise be to Allah."
I love that.
I gotta take a deep breath. It's hard, man. He made me love him. So,
I can't stop saying it ever since he made it a thing.
And he totally means it in a shitty way, which makes it extra delicious. I mean,
I don't know. Actually, I don't know if he means it that way. I think he means it in both. I think President Trump means it in both ways. I think President Trump means it in a both respectful and disrespectful way at the same time. That's what I think. Sure.
So, with regards to arming like anti-Mullah like elements amongst the anti-Mullah diaspora. There's two approaches you can do. The overall like leveraging different models, particularly Ukrainian's model, very much like hands down already happening. So as far as how to best deploy them, Armin's idea has its merits, right? You have two approaches. You can do Armin's approach, which has positive negatives, or the one that I was advocating for. So Armin's positive negatives. You have people in the region, which means they can start directly affecting that area, affecting the surrounding area and start liberating areas. It's true, be sure. Issue with that is all the bad guys know where you're at and they'll all try to fuck with you when you're there. Conversely, the one that I sent up the chain was developing fighting facilities outside of Iran in the United States and Canada that would train the cadre, to train the trainers, to train the operatives, and then you would deliver them in mass inside Iran so that you had your production capability is insulated from like Katyusha rockets and all the rest of it. Both have their pluses and minuses. Either one will be very good. Again, leveraging Ukrainian special forces and or Ukraine's model is we are very much in agreement. That's already being pursued. The idea, so the idea of liberating the islands, right? Kharg Island. Why is that so important? The Mullah regime has about 140 million barrels on the ocean in dark sea tankers, both like tankers that are official tankers, and then dark sea fleet tankers, their version of it. You're talking about 15 to about $20 billion. So you would name His Highness Prince Reza Pahlavi as the official government in exile. You would liberate those tankers, buy them or sell them to our allies that played a role in helping us to minimize the economic shocks caused by shutting down the strait, choking out the Mullah regime's money, and providing His Highness Prince Reza Pahlavi and the government in exile the resources to build those fighting facilities and or train those forces and equip them. Either way, you've touched on a lot of different pieces that are, regardless of the approach, how it shakes out. Either Armin's approach of liberating a city, it's a very good plan, or ours. You touched on a lot of it that crosses over both those approaches. Both are good.
Yeah, see, that definitely makes sense. The big concern I would have would be, I think, not so much the Besiege and IRGC ground forces moving all the way from the north of Tehran down to Bandar Abbas, but I could see Intel moving much more quickly to see who's there, what they're doing. So counterintelligence, I think, would be super, super important if Bandar Abbas has made that star city for the operation.